Hi Libra, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your November 20th to the 30th, 2021 money and career reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Libra. November 20th to the 30th, 2021 Libra. Money and career. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels, oh goodness, and spirit guides show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. At the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. At the root, we have our sun and we have the emperor. Oh my gosh. So we have here, Libra, such intense fire and focus. There's blessings because the sun is the happiest card in the whole entire deck. And we have the emperor, which represents Aries energy. Now, this is really having that warrior energy of Mars, of Aries, come forward in us during this time. We're not going to be sitting back going like, okay, well, let's wait for things to happen. But the Aries energy, because in Greek mythology, Aries and Venus, Aries and Aphrodite, they were lovers. So here we are ruled by Venus. We have that energy of Venus and Aries coming together and really passionately moving us forward to where we need to be within our lives. We have the Tower in ourselves, and we have the Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords is us, we're air sign energy, also represents Gemini and Aquarius. But what we're going to see here is that as we're a student, we're seeing a lot of the walls that were built around us, or a lot of the ways we thought we were supposed to be in our lives. They're starting to tumble down. They're starting to, fall away. And it moves us to our emotional self. There we go. We have the Five of Swords. This is going to be a battle we fought before is coming up. The Four of Pentacles, this is vampiric energy. This is our energy is not able to flow within us. There's blockages around money coming forward, and we need to be patient because what we're developing needs us to have different eyes to see things in a more honest, more open way for ourselves. So there is a financial plan here coming forward. In the public arena, we have the Two of Swords and we have the Death card. Now, if we have Scorpio in our natal charts or in our lives, that's going to come through very powerfully here in the public arena, just like Aries is going to come through very powerfully in our natal charts if we have it in our natal charts, or if we have Aries within our lives. Excuse me. So what we're going to see is a lot of intensity, a lot of seeing different roads, and different ideas start to open to us. And there is this sense here that I felt stuck, and now I am unstuck. Now I am starting to really see the way I need to move forward. Now let's look at the energy we need to be mindful of. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. This is the Princess of Swords, which is the equivalent of the Page of Swords in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. We need to be not worried about, but we need to be mindful about getting in our own way, of a sense of being focused on something that doesn't have as much value or as much weight to it as we thought it would have. So that's going to be very important for us here. We also can easily get caught up and be very attracted to people who are more, I don't want to say immature, but that's the way they're coming through. They're going to be more immature. They're not going to be as spiritually developed. They're going to be more risk takers, and they're going to be more pushing of the envelope type of people. And we're going to think, oh, wow, this is fun. Like, this is fun. This is exciting. Like, ooh, how does this work out? And they're actually not going to be very good for us at all. Also, here, Aries energy. Aries is our sister sign. So if we have sisters, if we know sisters, sisters are the people who we can absolutely love, absolutely be our best friends, but also the people who can push our buttons like nobody else. So that's coming through also at our root. Now our chakra energy, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides. It's love. Libra, that's what we're all about. We're all about finding the balance of love and self in this world as we're moving forward, as we're, defining ourselves and guiding ourselves and embracing Spirit's guide to where we're supposed to stand within our lives. So here we're opening up our heart chakra. We're embracing what we love. We're embracing who we are. We're looking at things with passion, with insight, with ideas, and we need to bring the heart to the table. Now, the heart is going to be going through some stuff. So it could be hard to bring the heart to the table, or it can feel astoundingly vulnerable to bring the heart to the table. And what Spirit is going to say is like, if I bring this to the table, where will I be? Like, what if I've invested so much of myself and it doesn't work out the way that I planned? And what Spirit is going to say here is like, yeah, but what if it does work out the way you had planned? What if the door does start to open? What if you see yourself moving forward more and more to the place that you need to be, body, mind, spirit, and soul? So the sun comes in, and this is, again, the happiest card in the whole entire deck. This is a sense of love and of beauty and of celebration and of divinity really shining itself on us. And what we're going to find is that we're opening up to new ideas. We're opening up to a new way forward. And as the sun shines, people take us by eyes. Always. Whenever the sun shines within us, wherever it is, here it's at the root, the very basis of ourselves during this time. So there's a luck to us. There's a brilliance to us. There's a happiness to us. And when people take us by eyes, it's because they're jealous. They want to sit there and say, no, you can't have that happiness. It has to be mine. And the only way it can be mine is by me undermining you, me underselling you. And what Spirit is saying here is, no. Let the brilliance of you shine through. Let the power and the intensity guide you forward, because it's leading us to the Emperor. It's leading us to being able to sit on that throne, to know what we desire, to look ourselves dead in the eye and say, this is what I want for my life. This is what's important to me. And it changes over time. When we make our plans when we're 15 years old and, 20 seems so old, it's silly. It's silly to hold ourselves to those ideas. And it's also silly to look back and say, oh my gosh, I didn't do that in that time frame. Or, that dream doesn't fit me anymore, but we're still trying to make it work. Or we're mad at ourselves for letting it go. What Spirit is saying here is to embrace who we are now. Not who we once were, not, what it is that once aligned with our happiness and our joy, but who we are now as we claim the throne of where we want to be, as we claim our passion and our insights and our ideas and our focus and our ferocity. And that starts to bring the game-changing energy forward. That starts to change the tide of things. So we claim our throne, we claim our power. We aren't led by anybody. We are leading ourselves forward. We are listening, yes, we are listening to trusted advisors. We are listening to people who love and care for us. But we're also saying, this is my heart. This is what I need. This is where I'm headed. Because Libra, if we take the heart out of the equation, we've just taken the essence of ourselves out of the equation. And that doesn't work. In our inner selves, we have to treat ourselves almost as if we are children, sitting and saying, well, what does that mean to you? And explain that picture to me instead of thinking we already have the answer. Because the pony we could think the kid is drawing is actually a dog, and we don't want to, insult them, right? So here we're going to find that there's this insight to us. It's like, well, what does that mean? And we start to open up the door to our younger selves. We start to open up the door to the part of our hearts that we've been ignoring for a really long time, as we've been focusing on the bigger picture, the bigger games, what needs to happen in order for us to move forward in what everybody else views as success. And so here we are connecting with ourselves again, but we're also being a student of our voice, of our words, of our mind. We're reorganizing things. We're looking at things in a very different way and saying, well, how does that work? And how does this work? And how would that move forward? And how would this move forward? And it moves us then to the tower. We're going to see that divinity has thrown us out of our comfort zone, either now or, it could be 10, 15 years of being thrown out of our comfort zone, of thinking, when is this roller coaster going to end? And what Spirit is saying is that you would not be forged the way I need you to be forged if you didn't have to face these battles, if you didn't have to acquire these scars. Nobody goes out, or very few people, seldom ever, would go out and physically scar themselves or emotionally scar themselves just for kicks and giggles, just because they knew it was what they had to do or they thought that this would better them. Usually, divinity has to push us there. And what divinity is saying is that the security of what once was and the power of what is now and all the hardships and pains in between, this has made you. This has forged you. And this is a strength that we really need to look at here. But this is also going to make us a little apprehensive during this time, because we're going to think, but everything's changing. The tower doesn't have to be a big change. It has to be just a powerful, impactful change on our hearts and in ourselves. And so when the tower comes, our earth shakes. It could be a little thing. It could be a conversation with somebody in a coffee house. Our earth shakes. It changes just a little. Our perception gets widened. Or we start to narrowly look at one thing or another that we hadn't ever looked at before. And it leads us to the Five of Swords. It leads us to this place where we're going to be facing battles that we faced before. Angers, hurts, fears, a sense of inadequacy starts to come. And as we face these battles, Spirit's saying, are you going to choose you? Are you going to say, I'm worth it? I'm worth fighting for. I'm worth defending. I'm worth, loving. Or are we going to say, oh, that person's right, and I'm just so silly? Or, oh my gosh, that's the way I should go, not this way, because other people approve of this way more. Or are we going to say, I fought these battles. I know these battles. They are as intimate to me as a lover. And I'm going to choose me. I'm going to choose what I need for my life and where it is I need to be for myself. The Five of Swords can be seen as poor sportsmanship. And we can feel that way within us. As we stand up for ourselves, we can think, wow, I'm being really mean. Or, oh my gosh, I should give that person the 18th millionth chance. But what Spirit is saying here is that as we stand up for ourselves, we acquire the swords. We acquire the knowledge of others. And we show them that we don't get to be pushed around. That we are a person to be taken seriously. In medieval times, if you were in a duel with somebody and they lost, they would lose everything. They would lose their armor, their sword, their horse. They could lose their kingdom. All right? Because you won a duel. And if in medieval times you gave back the sword, if you said good job, shook hands and walked away, you'd be thought of as weak. You'd be thought of as just absolutely somebody who would be walked all over. Sometimes we need to embrace our strength, not in a way of hurt and spite and anger, but in a way that says I'm worth it, in a way that says I'm showing up for me. And it brings us to this vampiric energy that's been holding us back. The Four of Pentacles is the sense of, I need to hold on to this. I can't possibly let go because everything will fall apart. And so the Four of Pentacles blocks our chakra flow. It blocks our development and our insight. It keeps our finances small because we're holding on to everything and not saying, no, I have enough. No, I'm good. No, I'm prosperous. And so this becomes the game changer here. It becomes the game changer to start to open up the solar plexus chakra and the heart chakra. Even the sacral chakra gets opened here. We start to embrace the Earth Star chakra 6 inches below our feet, have that connection to the earth coming through us again. The connection with the crown chakra and the soul star chakra 6 inches above our crown. And so we start to let the energy flow. And we start to see the stagnation. We start to see the reasons why we stop at certain points, why we get to a certain level and then think, oh no, I can't do this, or oh no, this isn't for me. And what Spirit is saying here is be patient with what is developing, because we're going to say, okay, I'm ready for wealth and prosperity. I'm calling it into my life. And when it doesn't happen tomorrow, we're going to think, well, that didn't work. Good job. But what is going to happen is that we need to be patient. We need to see the seeds that have been planted, the way that they're growing, the way that we are being nourished towards our prosperity, towards the wealth that we desire within our lives. And it brings us to a crossroad. Our hearts have to be strong, but they also have to be kind and patient. especially for our wealth, for our prosperity during this time. This is a money and career reading. And financially, we have to unblock ourselves, all right? Look at that vampiric energy that comes in, the words of the past that have stunted our financial growth and prosperity. It could be that we had financial troubles growing up. It could be that we were with a partner who had financial troubles. It could be that life got difficult, work got hard, we didn't get the jobs that we wanted, or things didn't line up the way that they needed to. And now we're just waiting. And we become frustrated and angry and overwhelmed, and Spirit's saying, step back from that. Look at where we are and be patient, because the wealth comes. And I know that is so hard to say, especially in these hard times, especially if life has been hard for the past 15, 16, years, and everything has been overwhelming, or at least 10 plus years. But the Two of Swords is showing us that the difficulties aren't coming to an end, because they will never end. That's part of life, are the difficulties. But we're coming to an understanding. And we're starting to see that the two roads that we thought we had to walk, they're not necessarily those two roads. There's more that opens up to us. There's a third road, a fourth road. And we get to walk that. We get to see that. We get to connect with that. And it brings us to the Death card. It brings us, as these new pathways open, it brings us to this rebirth of self. But it also brings us to a facing of fears that we hold as we open up doors that we didn't know we locked, that we didn't know we had closed to ourselves. We didn't know that we said, oh no, but that one's not for you. The Death card is the transformation. It's the phoenix rising. It is the sense of there is more here than meets the eye. And I get to embrace that. Our subconscious energy to be mindful of is the Freyot. Now this is Temperance in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. This is Sagittarius energy, but this is also a need to be balanced within ourselves and be very mindful of the energies that unbalance us. And we're going to like it. We're going to think, okay, this is exciting. This is going down deeply down this rabbit hole or that rabbit hole. But we're going to move away from our true calling. And our true calling when it comes to money and career might not have anything to do with money, might not have anything to do with career. But we might need to say, okay, I need to center myself in my beliefs again. When I find myself falling off track, I forget and I know this sounds so, it's such a personal thing to share, and maybe an odd thing to share. But when I was about 16, 17, I said, I dedicate myself to the Virgin Mary, to Mary. And that has been my purpose. That is my North Star in the world. And here, it's like if we lose our North Star, which sometimes we do, I absolutely do, to come back to it, not out of anger, not out of frustration, not out of, okay, fix my problems, but out of, oh, I forgot. I forgot why I'm here again. And now I step back into me again, into my dedication of my life. That becomes the game changer. And we have things like this. Maybe not as, bluntly spelled out as I had within my life. But it's these sort of things that we need to align ourselves to. And it's these sort of things that we can find very easy to slip away from us, because they're not what everybody else sees as valuable or important or prosperous. It moves us to our chakra energy, our subconscious chakra energy, which is communication, the third chakra. As an air sign energy, we need to communicate. Words are everything to us. But we need to communicate with ourselves. We need to communicate with others. And we need to look at what we desire within our lives and be open and honest in that communication. A lot is going to be felt and not necessarily heard. So listening to those emotions too are going to be part of the communication during this time. Our subconscious energy to be mindful of, our subconscious rooted energy is strength. This is Leo energy, but this is also knowing that we face storms, we face battles, the strength within ourselves, the love that we have for ourselves, the power to stand in the power of our heart chakra, and the power of our emotions, and the power of what we love in life. That becomes the game changer. It's not brute force strength. It's not, I will make them see strength. It's the strength of love. It's the strength of compassion. It moves us to our subconscious public arena self, and that's the Two of Cups. This is healing, beautiful love. This is unity coming in. This is love guiding us forward. This is beauty and intensity and power and insight. This is a sense of, I'm falling in love with my life. I'm being guided and I'm being healed. It moves us to our subconscious emotional energy, and that's the Two of Cups, and that's the Knight of Cups. And the Knight of Cups is cloaked in the heart chakra and is holding their heart above all the chaos in the world and saying, I move forward towards my love, towards my passion, and towards what I really desire within my life. I move forward in brilliance and in beauty. It moves us to our subconscious public arena self. And that's the Hangman. We don't see things the same way as everybody else. And that's not a bad thing. Things can be in limbo during this time. We want things to be absolutely definitive, and Spirit is saying here, be patient and look at the blockages that we have and the battles that we need to face, the things that we are going to face, and not to sell ourselves short as we face them. But we start to see things differently than everybody else. And we embrace that different insight, that different way of looking at the world, and not judging ourselves harshly or wrongly because of it. All right. All right, Libra. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power and the prosperity of this time. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Libra.